it's Maya. Welcome back to Resident Drinker. Today's video follows on from last week's where I talked about how tequila was made, some of the misconceptions about tequila, some of our funny experiences with tequila. This week I'm going to try some tequila. Blanco, Reposado and Anejo. So those are the three types which are the most common that we have in the UK. There are sort of extra age types and things like that, but primarily speaking, that's what we have in the UK. So I'm going to focus on those three styles of tequila. So let's start with Blanco. Blanco means white and it's unaged. So effectively they have made the alcohol from the agave that I spoke about last week. So if you haven't seen that video, you can click on the link below and watch that one. So this is unaged. It may be stored in steel vats just prior to bottling, but other than that, it's completely unaged. And as you can see, it's completely clear. Then we have got Reposado, which means rested, effectively. So these are rested. This tequila is rested in oak barrels for no more than 12 months, really. So they can be anything from 2 months to 12 months, but that's averagely speaking the sort of aging that you're looking at. And they use all sorts of barrels. So obviously mainly oak, but you can have ex-bourbon barrels, so barrels that have been used to age bourbon in, or sometimes cognac. There's lots of different varieties of barrels that tequila companies will use, distilleries will use to age their tequila in. And I'm sure they're probably developing all sorts of different styles of barrels that they want to use and the flavours that it will help bring out in the tequila. So then we've got Anejo, which is extra aged effectively. So this can be aged up to 3 years. Again in oak barrels, and as you can see the colour changes from being aged for a little bit longer. So let's start with tasting the Blanco. So first of all, you'll notice I've actually put it in a wine glass, which you might be thinking, oh, that's a bit odd. But the reason I've done that is because I want you to be able to actually get the smell. Now, if you could have smell-o-vision, which unfortunately you can't, you'd be able to smell this. It's got really amazing aromas in the room. And it is also such a lovely sunny day, which hopefully will put everyone in the mood to drink tequila. So first of all, I'm going to swirl it around the glass a little bit, and hopefully you may be able to see. I'm not sure if it's going to really pick up very well on the camera, but you can sort of see it coats the glass, and there's these sorts of legs which you would find, you know, if you were looking at wines and things like that. It's very similar. So we've put it in a big glass because I want to get the aroma. I want to be able to smell it. So I'm going to put my nose in. So first of all, I'm going to get obviously some alcohol, but behind that you should be getting the agave. And that, to me, the best way I can describe a Blanco tequila to you is that it reminds me of that sort of green smell, grass, freshly cut grass, but earthy. And it's just such an evocative smell, and a really good tequila will have a lot more depth to it. It won't just smell of alcohol, it will have lots of flavours. Now, I'm not going to get too caught up in describing the aromas to you, you know, like it smells like a Mexican village in the summer, because you can go that far, but I'm not going to, because I think the best way to describe things is to give it some sort of relevance to you, something that you can understand, and a context, because otherwise it just doesn't mean anything, does it? So I think, you know, pretty much everyone could kind of get that idea of cut grass, that greenness, freshness. Anyway, enough waffling. Tasting now. So I'm going to put it in my mouth. I'm going to hold it there just for a second. And just by holding it in my mouth, just that little bit longer before I swallowed, releases a lot more of the flavours. Now, I'm almost getting kind of smoky, tobacco-y taste, and that is from the cooking of the agave, that smokiness. Along with that, it's a little bit peppery, but it's still very fresh, and there's kind of an almost citrus undercurrent to it. And that really is what you're looking for in a good Blanco, complexity. It shouldn't just be straight off alcohol burning, you're not enjoying it. And that's why I would say just try, first of all, sipping it. Before you do anything else, just put it in a glass, give it a bit of air. I poured these out a bit early. You can't see I've got a little table here. just to give them some air, because it really does make a big difference in the taste. So let's move on now to the Reposado. So now I'll just compare the two so you can sort of see the colour difference. So you've gone from obviously clear to a sort of pale, sort of straw hay-like colour, I'd say. And again, giving a good swirl around the glass. And I'm doing this because I want to smell it. I want to see what's the difference between the Blanco and the Reposado. How much has changed in the aroma. So straight away, there's a big difference because this has now been aged. So that's changed it. It's had more time in the barrel. It's changed its flavours. It's taken some of the components from the wood, if you like. It's come into the flavour of the tequila. So now this time you're getting a lot more sort of a smokier taste, but there's a sweetness there. There's something a little bit more sweet in the smell than was in the Blanco. So again, I'm going to give it a good swirl and I'm going to hold it in my mouth just for a few seconds, really. So the flavour's really developed a lot more. It's peppery, it's smoother, it's a little bit sweeter in fact, and that's come from leaving it in a barrel. So just straight away you can see the difference between two same tequila, but one has been aged and one hasn't. There's a huge difference. So it's always worth exploring. You may not like Blanco tequila, but you may love a Reposado. So that's why I think try things. Just give it a go. So now, again, let's compare the colours. So now I've gone from the Reposado, which is this one, the sort of light coloured one, to the Anejo, and I'm just going to give that a little swirl. Ooh, my finger, I can't swirl with, I'm holding two things, I have to swirl in my right hand. So I'm going to give this a good swirl round, and again you can see, I don't know if you can, but hopefully you can see it's really coating the glass, and that's the sign of a really good quality alcohol as well, is that quality. Okay, so I've given it a good swirl, not very well actually, I'm not doing it in a professional way, forgive me. Right, nosing it. The smell has again developed even more, the aroma, let's use a proper word, aroma has developed more than the Reposado, but it does smell, and I've got the lurgy at the moment, I've got a bit of a cold, so tequila is apparently very good for this, I should be just drinking all of these later. Again, it's much more woody, smokier. So let me put it in my mouth. I'm going to hold it again. Now it's still got the same depth and sweetness as the Reposado, but it's probably a little bit fuller. That flavour comes through straight away. As soon as you've got it in your mouth, you get that warmth. And it's got elements of what reminds me of like a whiskey, actually, a young sort of Scotch whiskey, but with some sort of that kind of peatiness that you get, the smokiness effectively from whiskey. So it's got lots and lots of flavour. So it's really amazing to see you've started like this and you can end up here. And that's the same product, same alcohol, it's just been aged. So, you know, it really is about finding the flavours that you like. And like I said, you try them. You know, you may have done shots with tequila, and yeah, I mean, we've all done it. I would say, you know, obviously try to sip it. Just first of all, before you do anything with it, just sip it. And obviously, if you want to do shots with tequila. I'm never going to say to you, you must drink it in this way. No, you have to drink it the way that you like. But I would say just give it a chance to get a bit of air in it and try it first before you do shots. And again, you know, I think when you think about tequila and you think about what it's made from the agave, and the agave takes 10 years to grow. So, I mean, it's a really complex base product to start with. I mean, it's not something that you can just decide overnight, right, I'm going to make a tequila. You can't. You need to be able to get hold of agave. If it takes 10 years to grow, you know, you need to be pretty thinking ahead. How are you going to produce tequila consistently? So, you know, it's not something that is just made really simply and easily. It's a very complex product. And I think, you know, it really deserves to be revisited. Speaking about trying tequila, I have obviously still got my competition going, and to make it fair, I've decided, obviously I'm filming, so by the time I've uploaded this and things, people are still entering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the winner's name in the description bar below, so make sure to check that out. And then also please subscribe, because, you know, I want to make videos that you want. So I want to hear what you want to know about, questions you have, things that you want me to do videos on. So please make sure you subscribe, comment. You can follow me on social media at Resident Drinker on Twitter, at Resident Drinker on Instagram, and on Facebook you can find me. So there's no excuse. So subscribe, 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 and I will see you next week. Cheers!